Matamoros, Mexico this past weekend. While on their way for cosmetic surgery for one of them, they got caught in a firefight between drug cartels and were taken hostage. ABC's Matt Rivers in Mexico City says it is unusual for the U.S. government to provide details so quickly.
It's not normal that just because an American is involved in a crime in Mexico that the FBI goes very public with it. But that is what we're seeing in this case. We're seeing that FBI put out a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the safe return of these four Americans, as well as to the arrests of those responsible here. We saw Mexico's president talk about it at his daily press conference on Monday morning, saying that he's instructed his government to work with U.S. authorities to get these people back safely. So there's no question that both governments feel a sense of urgency here.
The State Department has urged Americans not to travel to that part of Mexico. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin making an unannounced visit to Iraq as the 20th anniversary of the U.S. invasion approaches.
The U.S. forces are ready to remain in Iraq at the invitation of the government of Iraq. Now, these forces are operating in a non-combat advise, assist, and enable role to support the Iraqi-led fight against terrorism.
Lloyd Austin touring Jordan, Israel, and Egypt this week. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is in Washington, though, testifying on the economy on Capitol Hill.
Fed Chair Powell must walk a narrow political tightrope in this week's congressional hearings, trying to explain why rising interest rates have taken so long to finally slow inflation, and facing criticism that the Fed's raising rates too fast, risking creating a recession if they go too high. The Fed raised rates 7 times last year, trying to cool rising prices.
ABC's Andy Field in Washington. As cannabis becomes legal in more and more states, the FDA is issuing a warning about children accidentally ingesting edibles. There's been a dramatic increase in cases. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Another scary incident on board a plane, this time a guy threatening the plane and the passengers while on the way to Boston. ABC's Lindsay Watts says passengers captured it on their cell phones.
Where are they diverting us? Because wherever it is, there's going to be a bloodbath.
Officials say a man on a United Airlines flight from Los Angeles tried to open the emergency exit door, then started yelling from his seat 45 minutes before landing in Boston.
I'm taking over this plane.
He then heads to the aisle, holding a jagged metal spoon he allegedly broke in the bathroom. Passengers wrestle him to the ground as the pilot declares an emergency. Investigators say the man tried to stab a flight attendant. He was later arrested at the airport.
After a string of incidents, the FAA is holding what's being billed as a safety summit next week. Even more missile tests expected soon from North Korea.
According to South Korean lawmakers briefed by South Korea's National Intelligence Service in a closed-door meeting, South Korea's spy agency is saying North Korea could engage in large-scale military drills in March or April and soon test its new solid-fuel ICBMs. This comes as North Korea warns the U.S., saying any move to shoot down one of its test missiles would be considered a declaration of war. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News. At the Foreign Desk.
An NFL player helping save a man's life. KJ Osborne from the Vikings spotted a crash in Austin, Texas. He and several other people managed to pull a man out of the burning car. This is ABC News.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Does that old tractor or lawnmower have more electrical tape or duct tape holding it together than you want to admit? Well, maybe it's time to see Phil Sheehan and his staff at NC Tractor for a new Massey Ferguson tractor or mower. Massey Ferguson is a company that's been around for over 175 years. That says a lot about a company. And paired with Phil Sheehan, who's been in business for over 25 years, that says a lot about Phil and his staff. Knowledgeable about their product, and they stand behind every sale. Massey Ferguson is the last tractor you'll ever need. NC Tractor, a dependable and reliable company that'll be there after the sale. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford.
We are going to see gusty winds today and low humidity that will lead to an increased fire danger risk. Although it's going to be very warm out there, you want to be mindful of that. Burning is discouraged. We have temperatures heading into the lower 70s and lower 80s. And by tonight, we're down into the lower 30s and lower 40s. A front's going to move through and allow us to see cooler temperatures tomorrow. Highs in the mid 50s and lower 60s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And right now we're 62 degrees on our thermometer, according to Peter the meter reader, if you're in the Rutherford area. And we're expecting to get up today to around 77 with west winds about 17 miles per hour with gusts as high as 28. So that's why they're cautioning us not to burn anything. Don't be setting any fires, burn any garbage, any trash, any leaves if they're just sort of hold off on that because that wind can be a treacherous thing with flames. So try not to do that today. Now on Thursday, mostly cloudy with the highs near 59, and then looks like maybe by the weekend we may get more rain. On Saturday, partly cloudy with scattered showers and highs near 60 with gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. So March wind is come for sure with a vengeance. Started back in February, didn't it? Now March is continuing to be a March wind month. So we'll have to do it. April showers coming soon, Mayflowers and pilgrims and all those things will be happening. 7 minutes after 7, we'll have the death announcements coming up here in just a few moments. Let me remind you of a couple of things. This reminder came in to us yesterday. Join the Mountain Gateway team to celebrate the success of the 2022 season of Samaritan's Purse Christmas Child Boxes. Meet the Gateway team, Rutherford, Polk, and McDowell counties. Get the numbers from the 2022 season. Hear from all the OCC departments and see where you can get involved as a year-round volunteer. Help start the season with prayer and excitement of what God has in store for 2023. It's going to be Saturday, March 25th, 10 a.m. until 12 at Pleasant View Community Church on Michael Drive, Forest City. For more information, you can contact Judy Jackson, area coordinator, at 828-606-3636 or www.judy@bellsouth.net, or you can contact Tommy Sims, media coordinator, 828-429-3309 or sims1597@bellsouth.net. Those of you who worked on that Samaritan's Purse and like to maybe be more of a volunteer, that's the answer to that. Town of Spindale will be celebrating its 100th birthday in August this year. The Spindale Centennial Committee is looking for pictures or other historical items to put on display. If you have photos you would like to send, you can email them to Lou Gillum at nctv.com or call her at 828-980-3110. And they'd like to have your old photos of Spindale to display on upcoming celebration day in August. Mark this date down, too, coming up. It's down the roadways, March 26th through the 29th at 6 p.m. nightly. It's a Remnant Revival services. Several churches will gather nightly to worship, pray, and submit to the Word of God. Each night, a local pastor will bring a message from the Word of God, and we will prepare a hearts and praise prayer and special music before the message. And that is coming up March 26th. Join the joint choir, each night at 6 o'clock. There will be practice for a joint choir for anyone who wants to participate. This is the ministry of the Sandy Run Baptist Association. And Crestview, of course, is located on South Church Street, Forest City. Service begins at 6:30, choir practice at 6, and you're invited to come be a part of that if you're someone who believes in prayer. Poor Man's Supper, March the 18th at 4 o'clock at Wilson Baptist Church, Whiteside Road, 3617 Whiteside Road. More information for this, there'll be takeouts available, and you're all invited to come and be a part of that big dinner. All right, the Bill O'Reilly Morning Update is coming up next from our networks, and we'll get into the other part of the program.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, no question there is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits and all kinds of great content. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. On this Tuesday, Saul Alinsky is the Che Guevara of the USA. Before he died in 1972, Alinsky provided battle plans to the far left in the form of written rules for radicals. It is said Hillary Clinton wrote a paper about that, but I have not been able to confirm it. Now, Saul laid out 11 strategies to destroy political opposition to the left. Rule number 5 is this: ridicule is man's most potent weapon. It is hard to counterattack ridicule, and it infuriates the opposition, which then reacts to your advantage. As one who has been on the receiving end of Alinsky's war machine for more than 25 years, I well understand the ridicule factor, so to speak, and it's never been used more than it is today. Fox News, the latest example of nonstop ridicule thanks to the Dominion voting machine lawsuit. Stories weeks old, yet every day the corporate media finds another way to highlight that story, and it will never end. Sometimes the press simply regurgitates the Dominion story with no new information. USA, a liberal enterprise, did that a few days ago, just in case somebody missed the first 3,000 reports. At this point, there's little FNC can do but hope it wins in court. However, Alinsky would be disappointed if he were still around. The network will keep its core audience of older conservative viewers. They will stand by their men and women, having nowhere else to go. Better call Saul. Bad news for the dearly departed. Worse news for the leftist media. Now this. If you are a timeshare owner, you're probably upset that your yearly dues continue to increase. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and done in a specific time frame. They're the only company you can trust, having helped more than 18,000 owners legally and permanently get out. So please call Lone Star Transfer 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
13 minutes after 7 o'clock on this terrific Tuesday morning, and I have these death announcements this morning. Karen Holland Bostic, age 58, of Gaffney, died Friday, March 3rd, at Mission Hospitals in Asheville. The family will receive friends from 12 until 2 today at McMahon's Funeral Home. The funeral service will be at McMahon's Chapel at 2 o'clock today. Burial will be at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Karen Holland Bostic. Barbara Reagan, 81, of Bostic, died Saturday, March 4th. A memorial service will be conducted at 5:30 Wednesday, March the 8th, at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church. The visitation will be from 4:15 until 5:15 Wednesday at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Barbara Reagan. William Bill Sabo, 94, of Rutherfordton, died Friday, March 3rd. A visitation and graveside service are being planned at this time. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for William Bill Sabo of Rutherfordton. Thelma Lynn Morgan Powell died March 2nd at age 62. An obituary is not available at this time for Thelma Lou Morgan Powell. And Robert Morgan Funeral Home is serving the family of Thelma Lynn Morgan Powell. Tina Mae Whisnant died March 2nd at age 66. That obituary is not available, and Robert Morgan Funeral Home is in charge of those arrangements for Tina Mae Whisnant. Troy E. Gordon, age 80, of Caroline, died Friday, March 3rd at Accordius Health in Rutherfordton. The funeral service will be held at 2 o'clock Wednesday, March the 8th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow with firefighters' honors at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 tonight at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral Home, serving the family of Troy E. Gordon. Thomas Joseph Tom Burke, age 74, of Hickory, died Tuesday, February 28th at his home. The celebration of life will be held 11 o'clock Friday, March 10th at Burke Memorial Park Road, Morganton. There will also be a funeral mass held at 11 o'clock this morning at Immaculate Conception Roman Catholic Church in Forest City. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematories in charge of the arrangements were Thomas Joseph Tom Burke. Joanne Moore Clark, age 76, of Ellenboro, died Saturday, March 4th. The family will receive friends Thursday, March 9th from 3 until 5 at Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside. The memorial service will follow at 5 o'clock in the A.C. McKinney Memorial Chapel at Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside, serving the family of Joanne Moore Clark. Kay Keeter Collins, age 77, died Saturday, March 4th at Oak Grove Healthcare, where she was a resident. At her request, no formal services will be held. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of serving the family of Kay Keeter Collins. Paul Kelly, 58, passed away Monday, February 27th. Arrangements incomplete and will be announced by Crow's Funeral Home for Paul Kelly. James Jed Doggett died March 1st at age 59. And Mike Band's Funeral Home is in charge of those arrangements, and they are not fulfilled yet. We'll have those as they become available to us. At 11:30 this morning, those obituaries are given, and again at about 5:10, it's part of the afternoon report. It's 17 minutes now past 7.
When the Pony Express was formed, they advertised for young, skinny, wiry fellows not over 18. Must be expert riders willing to risk death daily. Orphans preferred. Because of the amazing men who answered that ad, only one mail pouch was lost during the experience of the Pony Express. The most amazing of the riders was Bob Haslam, who was known as Pony Bob. On March 4, 1861, Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated as the President of the United States. It was important that the people of California get Lincoln's inaugural speech as soon as possible. Pony Bob was responsible for a 120-mile stretch in Nevada. He covered the 120 miles on 12 horses in about 8 hours. To give you an idea of how fast he traveled, a racehorse runs the short distance on a racetrack at a little over 25 miles per hour. Counting the time taken for changing horses and any other delays, Pony Bob traveled the 120 miles at approximately 20 miles per hour. But Pony Bob had to contend with conditions no jockey has ever had to contend. Right after he left Cold Springs, Nevada, he was surrounded by Indians riding stolen Pony Express horses. Pony Bob shot 3 of the Indians. Then he took an arrow in the left arm. He caught another arrow in his mouth that broke his jaw and knocked out 5 teeth. Outrunning the Indians, at the next relay station, he stuffed a rag in his mouth and successfully delivered his valuable document to the next rider. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Pass it on.
Here's a short quiz. Who won Best Actress last year? Who won the World Series 2 years ago? And finally, name your favorite teacher.
Pass it on.
Now I'm guessing that the last question was the easiest. Why is that? Because that person made a difference in your life. So, go ahead and make a difference. because making a difference is in you.
Pass it on.
From passiton.com.
It's time now to go to the phones and find out what's been going on around our county in the past few hours or so. And Sergeant Brandel is on the phone with us from the Sheriff's Department to get us going. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Tell us what's been going on.
Let's see. The past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has answered 240 calls, processed 14 arrests, and currently have 177 in the county jail. Under our arrest reports, we have a Melvin Evans, 68-year-old black male, Far City, charged with failure to appear, given a $30,000 secure bond. Christopher Ryan Towery, 25-year-old white male, Ballstick, charged with driving license revoked and fictitious tag, given a written promise. Have a James Andrew Smith, 31-year-old black male, Rutherford, charged with 7 counts of failure to appear, given a $1,500 unsecured bond. A Gregory Hampton, 31-year-old black male, Rutherford, served with 4 indictments. No bond listed on that. Mitchell Brent Rollins, 49-year-old white male, Far City, also served with an indictment. No bond on that. Jadius Hamilton, 21-year-old black male of Rutherford, charged with 7 counts of probation violation, or correction, 3 probation violations and 4 failure to appears, given a $82,500 secure bond. A Susan Goins Vickers, 51-year-old white female of Rutherford, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secure bond. And a Cody Ryan Rollins, 25-year-old white male of Rutherford, charged with probation violation, given a $2,500 secured bond. Under our incident reports, we have a misdemeanor larceny reported from Honeycutt Road in Ellenboro. Looks like the suspect took a ladder stand. In that incident, we have a obtained property by false pretense from Camp Ferry Road in Mooresboro. Looks like the victim was scammed out of $1,200 when they attempted to purchase a vehicle off of eBay Motors. And that's all we have this morning.
eBay Motors, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, Sergeant Brandel, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks for the report, and you be safe out there today. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Hey, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. And we'll check with 911 Communications Center next. I know many of you love yard sales, and I know a bunch of you enjoy going to Anchor Down because it's kind of like an indoor yard sale, isn't it? Except much of the merchandise is new. And listen to this. You'll find clothes and shoes, and handbags, but reduced like $1. Anchor Down carries small kitchen appliances, electronics, furniture. Most things are $5 or less, with the exception of antiques and furniture. They're moving stuff in all the time. Every week they get something new. There are deals all over the store. Why don't you go by and see what they've got today? That's a big part of the fun of shopping and browse shopping is maybe moving something out of the way and looking for something over here. That's part of that fun of shopping Anchor Down. Many folks are doing it. You should too. 155 West Main Street, right across from Carolina Chiropractic. Anchor Down is open Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 a.m. until 3. Come see yourself. And Amber's on the phone now from 911 Communications. Amber, tell us what's been going on.
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County 911 Communications has processed 500 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 44 calls for EMS. For law enforcement, there were 240 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 95 for Forest City, 6 for Lake Lure, 40 for Rutherford, and 42 for Spindale. And for fire calls, Ballstick responded to a brush fire, Forest City responded to a motor vehicle accident, a brush fire, and a residential fire alarm. Dudley responded to a commercial fire alarm. Rutherford responded to a structure fire with Spindale assisting, and Shingle Hollow responded to a brush fire with Green Hill and the Forestry Service assisting, and then Spindale responded to a fire investigation. And that's all we have.
Amber, thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration, and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Let's see what Ruby Taylor has to tell us today from the SDO Fire District. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report over there?
I don't have anything, Jim. Just got birthdays. And I got Lois Dobbins, Bailey Keller, Glenda Tony, and Tyler Nosali Welburn. And Mr. and Ms. Keith Fain and Mr. and Ms. Larry Dobbins have an anniversary. And hope all these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the boughs today and going to the rains tomorrow. That's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
ACC tournament underway this week, and Tar Heels will be playing for 5:30 on, looks like Wednesday, tomorrow evening, 5:30. They play either Boston College or Louisville, depending on who wins in that matchup earlier. So we'll see who they play. But it's Carolina will be playing on Wednesday at 5:30. Let's see what DeVern Upton of Bostic has to tell us this morning. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. We have a temperature of 63 degrees here in Bostic. Fire department responded to a brush fire. Don't forget to go by Bostic Floors here on Bostic Sunshine Highway and get your flower arrangements. And Friday night fire revival will be going on this Friday night at 6:30 at Faith Baptist Church there in Forest City. Pastor Brian Melton invites everyone out. And don't forget the benefit hot dog supper and singing for Tyler Pendleton, son of Melissa Carroll and Randy Pendleton, to help with medical expenses. Friday, March the 10th, 5 to 6:30 the supper and 7 o'clock singing at Pleasant View Community Church there on Michael Drive in Forest City. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.
You have a great day, too, DeVern, and I'll see you back here next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Wayne's Lunchbox can satisfy the pickiest of eaters at lunch or dinner or supper, whatever you want to call it. You can enjoy salads, sandwiches, a limited meat and veggie menu at lunchtime, and then for supper, your choice of a meat and vegetables. And Wayne's will be serving breakfast for supper the first of each month. Call on Wayne's for any catering event that you may have, offering catering service, so stop by 391 East Main Street in Spindale. Call 828-395-2225. Open Monday through Thursday, 11 until 2, for supper, 3 until 7.
7:29, and you can hear Wayne live most Mondays and Wednesday mornings as we talk about what the menu is for the day. Now let's check in with Robbie Samuel. He's over at Rutherfordton Fire District and also looks at Hudlow for us. Robbie, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Jim. I hope you are.
I am doing well. Loving this weather, man.
Man, I'm telling you, it's been great, hasn't it?
It really has, I tell you. I'm probably going to have a turn for the cold weather here pretty soon, though.
Well, probably so, but maybe it won't be no 20 degrees if it does get back cold again. You know, it'll be just kind of, it's a lot of times it's not too bad unless the wind just starts blowing. That's when I don't like being out in it.
That's bad. Yeah, we can enjoy this nice weather while we got it.
That's exactly right. And like I said, I know you mentioned earlier about the warnings, but yeah, people just need to use common sense. If the wind's blowing, don't be trying to burn anything, because that's what happened yesterday. Rubston had a grass fire that started out as a controlled burn. It started getting out of hand and melted the siding on the house. It got close.
Oh my!
enough. Yeah, it just don't take but a second. You think everything's okay, but that one little bit of burst of wind just kind of makes a turn for the worse. It could have been a lot worse, of course, but luckily we got there in time. And
good for you.
Yeah, but Hudlow, they ended up having a power line call yesterday. A tree fell on the line here on Hudlow Road. Just want to mention the blood drive at Ralston Fire Department tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It'll be at the fire station. Also, just wanting to announce the ham and chicken pie supper, the drive-through only at Mount Vernon Community Club, starting at 4:30. Be $12 a plate, so hopefully folks can come out for that. And also, Ralston Fire Department is going to be doing a free car seat safety check, and that's going to be March the 14th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the fire station. There'll be signs up so folks will know how to pull through. We're going to open up the bays so they can pull through the bay and have these technicians check their car seats. If they're got any questions or need anything, they can come by and talk to those folks and keep their kids safe in the car.
That's a great idea. I like that. Parents don't think about those seats very often, and sometimes they're not the best seats to have for the children to sit in.
No, you're exactly right about that. And sometimes we think we got it in correctly, but it's not always the right way. So it's always good to have somebody that's been in these classes and went to school for some of this stuff that, they might see something the other one don't see, and it's very important. It don't take just a second for something bad to happen, that's for sure.
You're too young to remember this, but I can remember years ago, kids ride in the back window, and above the back seat. There's no seat belts and no seats for the kids. They just lay down in the window back there. We don't do that anymore.
No, even though it was dangerous but it kept the kids occupied, I'm sure.
yeah, they could wave at the cars as they went by.
That's right.
All right, Robbie, anything else?
Nope, that's all I got for you, and I hope you enjoy your day and have a good day.
You too, Robbie. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Couldn't reach Chris this morning to give us a report from Chimney Rock, Lake Lord, Bills Creek, so we're going to move on around.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are things over in Cherry Mountain District?
Well, so far everything's quiet, I reckon. Hadn't had any calls that I know of. Just a pretty morning over here, but I was still supposed to get a lot of wind today.
Yes, it's going to be quite windy today, and matter of fact, every day this week there's a lot of wind. Wind gusts today up to 16 miles per hour. I'm sorry, 28 miles per hour.
28. Well, just hope we don't lose power. That's always a bad thing.
Yeah, it's just too windy to fly a kite, so I think I'll find something else to do.
Well, this is one of those days I don't have anybody celebrating on either one of my calendars. But we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And everybody keep in mind this coming Saturday is the time to spring forward. We're going to move our clocks up.
That's right. Lose that hour of sleep.
This time comes around awful quick anymore, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've been talking about leaving it once it's set this time, leaving it. I don't know if it's going to do it on daylight savings time or when it goes back to Eastern Standard Time, but they've been talking about not doing this flip-flop. I don't know if it'll ever work out that way or not.
Well, I don't know either.
Congress is a little slow in action sometimes.
And in my announcements, the Fairview Baptist Church will be having their spring revival. That'll be the 19th through the 22nd. And the Sunday service is at 6:30 p.m. And then the Monday through Wednesday it starts at 7 p.m. And everyone's invited out for that. So that's always a good thing. I always enjoy going to revivals. And I guess we all need to go, don't we?
We all need reviving.
Well, I hope you have a good day today, Jim.
See you. Thank you, and you too, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's Cherry Mountain checking in this morning, 36 past 7. One of the things you can always count on when you go to the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic is good personal service. They take care of you. Matter of fact, they'll even bring you groceries out to the car. If you can't get in and out of the car too well, call and you order in, they'll bring it to you. They got a great meat market, unlike any meat market in a small grocery store. You'll find steaks, pork chops, roast, filet mignon, hamburger. It's just a great meat market. They'll cut your meat the way you want it. You got a wonderful deli back there. And Jessica looks after that so well. And when you order that Major Lee's chicken and potato wedges, our pizza, our beef dogs, or anything from the deli for lunch, you're going to say, boy, I'll tell you, I'm sure glad I came to the Drop-In Family Mart in Bostic. Check it out today. It's worthy of your time to see it. All right, Tina, how you doing?
I'm doing okay this morning.
Are you?
Yeah, just okay. I've had a blood sugar drop this morning. I cannot get it together. I feel like, whoop.
Yeah. What causes blood sugar to drop like that?
I have diabetes, and it just fluctuates with me, and I really have to watch how many carbs I put in and make sure I get enough. And I guess last night I just didn't get enough carbs.
So it's a constant watch, isn't it?
It is, and sometimes I feel like it's just a battle. But praise God, I have enough sense to take care of it, or try my best to anyway. So I just thank God that I'm able to do that. Well, let me tell you about Shingle Hollow this morning. It is 62 degrees, and the fire department, they had a brush fire yesterday evening, and Green Hill assisted them, so it's very important. Don't have any fires with this wind that you've been talking about all morning. And we need to be careful with that. We have a birthday this morning for Miss Amy Hargett, and Pleasant Grove has Lois Probst on their birthday calendar, so I hope both these ladies have a happy birthday. And we have an anniversary on Pilgrim Way's calendar for Mike and Sharon Melton. I hope they have a great anniversary. For announcements, Pilgrim Way Baptist Church is having their revival this week. Started last night. It's at 7 p.m. each night all the way to Friday. And they'll have a different preacher each night and special singing each night. Again, that's at Pilgrim Way. It starts at 7 tonight, and it will be each night until Friday. White House Community Clubhouse has asked me to announce that they are having their Boston Butt Sale. It's around Easter. You pick it up on April 7th. That's on a Friday. So they have the Boston Butt, a pint of slaw, and a pint of sauce for $45. Again, you can order any time between now and April 7th. And when you pick it up that evening at the White House Community Clubhouse from 4 to 6 p.m. And I have a contact number at 4319, and I'll be providing this each morning. So if you didn't get it this morning, I'll be glad to announce it again. And the number is 755-4319 for that Boston butt. And Mountain Creek Baptist Church is having their barbecue fundraiser this, Saturday, March 18th. So not this Saturday, but the next. And from 4 to 7 p.m., they'll have pulled pork barbecue, red and white slaw, potato salad, hush puppies, and homemade desserts. It's $12 for adults, 6 to 12. Children 6 to 12 is $6 a plate. You can also order takeout at 429-8686. So that, again, mark your calendar for Saturday, March 18th for Mountain Creek Baptist Church, a barbecue. And I think that's all I have this morning. So I'm going to have a better day. It's going to get better. It's already getting better. I'm feeling my blood sugar come up.
Good.
So I appreciate you bearing with me, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, or I don't get blown away.
You keep improving, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It is 7:40 on this terrific Tuesday morning, and 62 degrees on the outside with wind blowing.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
And here's Brenda Kelly reporting for Union Mills. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. What are you tickled about?
You and Tracy carrying on your conversation every morning.
That's all right. They were just saying, good morning, how are you? And I said, I'm fine on this terrific sunny Tuesday morning. And she said, I know it, everything's so pretty and the tulips and everything's blooming. I said, yeah. I mean, you know, you don't just say, okay, hold on, Jim's going to be with you.
Well, sometimes it's necessary to do that too, but that's okay. We'll
still got time. It ain't but 20 till 8.
We'll rough around it.
That ain't no worse than all that mess you had to start with this morning.
Well, wasn't that terrible?
Oh, it was. I thought, what's going on down there?
I don't get it.
I know. You get gremlins in the receiving line, and signals go away. They don't come in, and whatever. It's terrible.
Pay good money on telephone lines and computer lines and Wi-Fi lines and all those, and you still sometimes don't get good service.
And sometimes they get them crossed, and you don't know what you got.
That's exactly right.
But everything will be all right.
Everything's going to be fine.
Did you see that pretty full moon this morning?
I did.
Wasn't that thing pretty, shining just as bright? Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. I've got 50 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries. I don't have any announcements. Everybody's just sitting back in their yard or on the front porch watching the daffodils and the tulips bloom.
Boy, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, I went by Hudlow yesterday, down the Hudlow Road, and I seen Bob and Ima Jean setting out, so I blowed the horn and tooted at them, and I said, I bet they're wondering, who's that going down the road in that red car?
Now they know.
Yeah, now they know if they're listening. But we miss him, but Robbie's doing a fine job, too, so he gets it on it.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah. But I guess you better go to Ellenburg and check on Luther Sweet Thing and see what's going on down there, and I shall see you tomorrow.
Stay tied down in case the wind blows hard.
Oh, it ain't going to blow me away. I weigh too much.
I'll see you.
Okay, catch you later.
Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills, 7:44, almost 45. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. And we'll go over to Ellenboro now and talk with Luther, see if we get a report from him on the streets of Ellenboro this morning. And here he is now, ladies and gentlemen, Luther Gilligan.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's a nice day down here. Hope you're having a good day up there.
We're having a wonderful day up here. Wind's
Good.
blowing, sun's shining.
Coffee's good down here. Yeah, sun's shining down here. It's going to be a nice day. But it's quiet this morning, nothing going on. The fire department had 2 medical calls. Had one yesterday afternoon and one last night about 9 o'clock. So they're quiet this morning, so they're just sitting back and enjoying a cup of coffee. So nothing else happening down here, Jim. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a wonderful day, Luther. I'll see you.
All right, take care.
It's time for birthdays, anniversaries for this date, the 7th day of March, March 7th. And if you'll call yours in to us, call Tracy and tell us your birthday or anniversary. We'll give you a big shout out and have a big birthday celebration for you in your honor. 287-3356 is the phone number. 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries can be called in now. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale, 828-287-9197. And for one of the lunches you'll be bragging about is a lunch from Granny B's. They've got those subs that you can direct them into how you want it fixed. Great bread. I like the honey wheat, as I mentioned to you. And you look up on the board and see which sandwich you like, what kind of meat you like to mix it with. Say number 4 or maybe number 7. It's got different kinds of meat. Or maybe just a vegetarian sub. But they got all kinds of things for lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, cheese, whatever you want on it. They'll fix it for you. And you'll be glad you went to Granny B's. Right there, Main Street, Spindale. Enjoy lunch today.
Happy birthday.
No birthdays called in this morning to celebrate birthdays or anniversaries, so we'll just enjoy each other's birthday today. We'll pull all together. Happy birthday to us.
Most leadership principles are neutral. They are neither spiritual nor secular. Some very wicked men use the same principles Jesus did. The person, not the principle, determines its value. The success of leadership is closely tied to the type of person who wields it. Who you are as a person is absolutely critical to your leadership ability. John Maxwell says, leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. A person can exemplify great leadership abilities, but if his personal character is suspect and not true to biblical standards, even his successes are often overlooked. His power to influence is diminished. President Bill Clinton had good skills, but his ability to influence others was overshadowed by his failure of character. You cannot be a strong leader without first becoming a person of strong character. There is no shortcut. Develop the disciplines necessary for building a life of personal integrity. Work hard at becoming a person like the psalmist David, who was called a person after God's
interfering with the flight crew using a dangerous weapon. Those on board say 33-year-old Francisco Torres tried to open up the emergency exit door mid-flight, then went after a flight attendant with a jagged metal spoon that he had reportedly broken in the bathroom. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
One witness telling ABC News the suspect started screaming after he saw a passenger filming him. About 5 people jumped and tackled the suspect, saying they pulled the broken spoon out of his hand. The group of passengers and flight attendants holding him down, using zip ties to restrain him. FBI agents boarding the plane as soon as it landed, taking Torres into custody.
United Airlines thanking crew and customers for their quick action on board. The State Department says it's working with the Mexican government to secure the release of those 4 Americans kidnapped at gunpoint in Matamoros, Mexico. ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas says they had gone there to get a cosmetic procedure.
In Mexico, the price of a so-called butt lift is about half of what it is here in the States. 35-year-old Latavia McGee had 3 friends with her when their minivan came under fire, and all 4 were abducted on the way to a medical clinic in Matamoros, Mexico. Now, says White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre,
we will continue to coordinate with Mexico and push them to bring those responsible to justice.
4 days after the violent abduction, and despite a $50,000 FBI reward, the 4 Americans are still missing. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Closing arguments today in the sentencing phase of the man who plowed down and killed 8 people as he raced a rental truck down a New York City bike path in 2017. Despite being banned in New York State, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, which is allowed in federal cases. More snow for people who live in the San Bernardino Mountains east of Los Angeles. There's been so much snow in that region, some are trapped in their homes, unable to leave. You're listening to ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Families cross the border illegally may soon be detained under a new policy from the Biden administration. ABC's Mary Bruce is in Washington.
No decisions have been made yet, but we have learned that the Biden administration is considering detaining migrant families who cross the border illegally. I am told that any family detentions would be limited to just a small number of days to allow for swift processing. But this would be a reversal after President Biden ended the controversial policy shortly after he took office.
The plan may be put in place with the expiration of the Title 42 policy put in place under President Trump. That rule expelled migrants over fears about spreading COVID. It expires in May. Despite higher prices, a lot of people are buying Legos. The company says sales last year jumped 12% to just over $9 billion. And a former TV star has his eye on a new job in Washington, D.C. ABC's Jason Nathanson has the story.
It's official. Boy Meets World star Ben Savage is trying to trade Hollywood for the House of Reps.
I'm Corey Matthews, man of the people.
He's running for Congress. In a post on Instagram, Savage writes that he's a proud Californian and union member who wants to ensure equality and expand opportunity for all, while offering innovative and compassionate solutions to our country's most pressing issues. Savage will be running as a Democrat for Congressman Adam Schiff's seat in a district that includes Hollywood and Burbank. Last year, Savage, 42, ran for a seat on the West Hollywood City Council and lost. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
This is ABC News.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Temperatures today will head into the lower 70s and lower 80s. It's going to be a lovely one out there, but a windy one with gusty. That, coupled with low humidity, will lead to an increased fire danger risk. So our spring-like temperatures today will give way to winter-like highs. By tonight, we're down into the lower 30s and lower 40s with highs tomorrow in the mid-50s and lower 60s. It's going to be so much cooler. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now we're 62 degrees and sunny skies out there, breezy conditions, and the breeze is going to be with us for a while. The sun's going to be with us for a while. Right now we're going to have, today, look at wind gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. And it is time for Andrew Tisdale to come. He's signing autographs in here this morning already. People want his phone number from him. He hasn't even got on the air yet, just right yet, but we're going to turn him on right now. Good morning, Andrew. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I hope you are.
I am doing great. It's good to get phone calls before you go on the air, isn't it?
It is. It's going on.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm glad you're able to make it in. And
it's a beautiful day out there. It's, so is it winter or spring?
Who knows? The wind makes it feel like it's kind of wintertime, but that sun sure looks good.
It does look good, and it feels good when you get out there and get some on your face and all of that.
I cut grass on Saturday around my place. The weeds are getting up to the turnip greens, wild onions.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it, but I came in the house and I got blistered on my arm, on my face.
From the sun?
Yeah.
I got some on top of my head. Yeah, that's it. Somebody says that brains and hair don't mix. Yeah. I used to not believe it until I started going bald.
Are you saying those who have lost hair don't have your brains?
Well, I always wonder. I always look at you, Jim, and I always wonder, how does he do that? Because that just don't fit.
What you got on your mind today?
I want to talk a little bit about maybe a risk-free income investment that's been attractive. I've had a lot of questions about it. I think that there is opportunity in it, and it is actually called Treasury securities. Now, there's three types of Treasury securities. There are Treasury bonds, Treasury bills, and Treasury notes. A Treasury bond is basically referring to any type of Treasury security that has a maturity date of 20 years or more. In other words, you lock in your money for 20 years. While the notes come in 2, 3, 5, 7 midterm range, and actually the Treasury bills are very short term, for 1 year or less. Why are they so attractive right now? One is they have the highest yield they've had in over 12 years. You are looking at some of the shorter term ones at well over 5%. You're looking at some of the longer ones for over 4.5%. That's not something we've considered in a long time. As a matter of fact, if you have an annuity, and something to consider is, and that annuity may be paying you a guaranteed rate of 5.5%. If that's an annuity that you're getting taxed on, look at the opportunity that if you put this in a long-term Treasury bill that's tax-free, risk-free, you're going to get a higher yield or a higher payout, a guaranteed payout. Because of this, it is risk-free income. You have the state tax benefits, and you can buy and sell them. In other words, if you put it in there, it's just not locked in. You can buy and sell them. In a time of market uncertainty, having that guaranteed type of investment that's saying, I'm going to give you this, whether it's short, medium, or long, that is something to really consider right now. But here's some things to be aware of, too, is if I go in and I look at a very short-term Treasury bill, why is it a higher rate than something that's long term? We don't see that very often. Why am I getting a higher rate for something that's 6% or 6 months instead of 30 years? It's because right now that's the way the rates are being. We're trying to fight inflation. The government's trying to fight inflation, and they're causing the interest rates to rise, but there's no particular initiative to say that's going to last for a long time. Once this inflation battle is one, they're going to start lowering rates again. So a lot of the bills that come out on the market or any other bond that comes out on the market that's long term is lowering their interest rate because they don't want to be locked into these higher rates for such a long term. So the opportunity may be looking at it from the standpoint of, one, what is your needs? Are you looking for some long-term income and the yield will provide that? If in the short term, are you looking at a purchase that you may be making here in the short term, maybe a year or two, then this is a really good option because, one, CD rates are about the same, but you're going to pay taxes on them. So you're going to get more in return for that. Another thing to be wary, if you do have to sell out, you could possibly get less. If interest rates keeps rising, then you're not going to get as much back. But if you stay the term, you'll get your principal plus all the earnings, and it could be tax-free.
So it really pays to be patient, doesn't it?
It does pay to be patient. Whether you're building wealth, whether you're living off of wealth, or whether you're preserving wealth, it all has some patience on it. If I have a purchase that I'm looking down the road, if I want to buy some land here in about a year, stay the year. You know, 3 months, you have that opportunity as well.
I was going to ask you, you don't hear much about this anymore. It's still out there, but I remember as a youngster and even my kids and grandkids, they used to encourage to buy U.S. savings bonds. Are they still out there? They still do that?
They are. They're still out there.
Don't earn much interest, though, do they?
Well, they're actually typically almost like a zero. They call it a zero-free tax bill or treasury bill, and basically what you do is you put that 50 in and you wait for 20 years, and they give you back a higher rate on the back. So they are out there. I'm going to be honest, I don't know the rates on those right now. They're not very well advertised.
No, you don't hear much about them anymore, so I wondered if they're still even pushing those. But
I would say more right now. They're pushing more of the securities and the like the bills, the bonds, and the notes more than anything.
It's better to go to somebody like Andrew Tisdale and find the best rates and find the best options.
Come on over.
Yeah.
What's
your phone number?
828-429-7539. 828-429-7539. Just want to let everybody know that we are going to have an event on March 31st. A little more details as we move over, but you're going to meet a very, very good team. Some people that's been on TV, been on CNBC, been all over the nation talking about how to make money, and it's going to be a great event. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
Keep eyes and ears open.
Eyes and ears open.
Yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to it. Always good to have you in the Blue Room on Tuesdays, and we'll look forward to having you back here next Tuesday.
The next time I'm going to wear a hat, and you might want to wear sunscreen and cut grass. You don't need a hat.
Have a good week.
See ya.
Andrew Tisdale right here with us. I'll be back in just a moment.
Hungry? Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a good time to stop in at Gregory's Original Restaurant. Choose from fresh delicious burgers, fries, sandwiches, pasta dishes, fresh salads, grinders, and so much more. All orders are prepared fresh and to perfection. Open Monday through Friday, 11 till 9, Saturdays, noon till 9, closed on Sundays. Call in or carry out. 828-287-2171. Located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton, and DoorDash delivery is available. Fast and friendly service. That's Gregory's Original Restaurant.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Can you say neighborhood, boys and girls? Can you say neighborhood? Are you good to your neighbors? Anyway, some local news from here and there this morning. Sad story up in McDowell County. Man's been sentenced for kidnapping and beating a woman for over 10 hours. The Rutherford and McDowell County District Attorney's Office announced that a man was recently sentenced to years in prison for kidnapping and beating a woman. District Attorney Ted Bell said Joseph O. Buckley was recently tried and convicted of attempted murder, first-degree kidnapping, assault by strangulation, assault inflicting serious bodily injury, assault on a female, intimidating a witness, and habitual felon. According to Bell, O'Buckley and the victim were staying at a motel in Marion when O'Buckley locked the victim in a room and barricaded the door while refusing to let her leave. Bell said O'Buckley then repeatedly beat and strangled the victim until he fell asleep around 11 hours later. After Buckley fell asleep, the victim reportedly escaped and found help nearby. Bell said the victim was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries following the incident, and O'Buckley was taken into custody. However, Bell added that O'Buckley continued to call the victim from jail and demanded that she not testify against him. Following his conviction, O'Buckley was sentenced to 37 years in prison. Show his mugshot. Those of you watching by camera, if I can hold that up to see if you can see his mugshot there. That's what he looked at. Again, man, Stories have been doing these stories for years and years and years. It still puzzles me as to why there's that much anger there that somebody would strangle somebody and brutalize them for 10 hours and lock them up. I just don't understand that, but I don't know. Anyway, other news, the Democratic mayor of College Park, Maryland, is a gay activist who has branded himself as a role model for LGBTQ youth. Well, he was arrested Thursday morning on dozens of counts of possessing and distributing child pornography. There were a total of 56 child sex offenses. Patrick Lewis Wohan, 47 years old, has talked about how he was mentored by the Biden administration's Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. The two met when Wohan was first elected in 2015 and went to the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting in the nation's capital. Pete Buttigieg was assigned to be, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, like Wohan's buddy. He was assigned to be his buddy at that conference. The disgraced mayor has been a frequent guest in Biden's White House for several pride events hosted by the president. Wohan claimed that Biden was the most pro-LGBTQ president in U.S. history. The mayor, along with his husband, was invited by Biden to attend the signing ceremony of the Respect for Marriage Act on the White House's South Lawn. Now, that's sort of a misnomer there. Respect for Marriage Act, and they were encouraging same-sex marriage. Two men marry each other. That's not respecting the marriage. That's distorting it, distorting the marriage. They take these names and take them into something, present them something that they're not. Like the gay movement, that word used to be a positive thing. We're happy and gay. Have a gay time at the party. Now they've taken that word, and then you say gay, all of a sudden it's a homosexual crowd. So they take these words, like rainbow. Take the rainbow. Rainbow's always stood for God's promise that there'd never be a flood like there was with Noah's day. But they've taken that they take a banner, that rainbow, and turn it into something like a gay movement. So they take these words like this one, Respect for Marriage Act. Well, if we respected the Marriage Act, they'd be encouraging men and women to be married. Wohan was arrested after the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notified the Prince George's County Police Department on February the 17th that images and videos of child sexual abuse were uploaded in January to a social media account operating in its jurisdiction. It was soon discovered that the account in question belonged to Wohan, W-O-J-A-H, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, Wohan. It was discovered that the account belonged to him, according to a press release issued Thursday by police department. And he's a good friend of the Transportation Secretary who mentored him and when he became a mayor himself. And they went to these movements, these gay conferences, and so they wanted to mentor each other. And so now one thing leads to another, as you know. You can't just say, well, I'm this way, and I don't dabble around with, well, take a quick look at that. Anyway, 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. I'll be back in just a minute.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
Compassion, commitment, and professionalism. These are the qualities family members need at a time of sorrow. That's why families in Rutherford County turn to Harrelson Funeral Home. The professional staff at Harrelson Funeral Home in Forest City understands your sadness, your loneliness, and your need for guidance. You'll know when you turn to Harrelson Funeral Home that your deepest concerns will be felt. You need someone to listen and guide you through the process of planning a funeral. That's why you need Harrelson Funeral Home. To make it easier on you at that difficult time, plan early for services you'll want for your loved ones. Call Harrelson Funeral Home today. That phone number is 657-6383. See why Harrelson Funeral Home is the choice for you. 1251 Highway 221A, Forest City. Well, the ACC tournament is underway, as you know, in Tar Heels. We're only carrying the Tar Heel game, and they will be playing, let's see, what was that game? Too many papers on my folder here. Let me see. They'll be playing Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, North Carolina versus either Boston College or Louisville. The winner, whoever wins that game, when Boston College plays at 4:30 today against Louisville, and whoever wins that game will be playing against the Tar Heels on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And then we'll see what happens from there. If Tar Heels remain in there, they'll go next step. If they're not, they're probably going to be eliminated altogether, will not be making it into the NCAA. We'll have the Tar Heel game. As long as they stay in the play, we'll have them on our radio station right here. Our 21 now past the hour, and Sergeant Brando gave us the report from the Sheriff's Department this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time.
Let's see, the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has answered 240 calls, processed 14 arrests, and currently have 177 in the county jail. Under our arrest reports, we have a Melvin Evans, 68-year-old black male, Far City, charged with failure to appear, given a $30,000 secure bond. Christopher Ryan Towery, 25-year-old white male, Ballstick, charged with driving license revoked and fictitious tag, given a written promise. Have a James Andrew Smith, 31-year-old black male, Rutherford, charged with 7 counts of failure to appear, given a $1,500 unsecured bond. A Gregory Hampton, 31-year-old black male, Rutherford, served with 4 indictments. No bond listed on that. Mitchell Brent Rollins, 49-year-old white male, Far City, also served with an indictment. No bond on that. Jadius Hamilton, 21-year-old black male of Rutherford, charged with 7 counts of probation violation, or correction, 3 probation violations and 4 failure to appears, given a $82,500 secure bond. A Susan Goins Vickers, 51-year-old white female of Rutherford, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secure bond. And a Cody Ryan Rollins, 25-year-old white male of Rutherford, charged with probation violation, given a $2,500 secured bond. Under our incident reports, we have a misdemeanor larceny reported from Honeycutt Road in Ellenboro. Looks like the suspect took a ladder stand. In that incident, we have a obtained property by false pretense from Camp Ferry Road in Mooresboro. Looks like the victim was scammed out of $1,200 when they attempted to purchase a vehicle off of eBay Motors. And that's all we have this morning.
The music's on us on WCAB.
Sports update coming up here in just a few seconds. 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch. We'll have all that interesting program for you, too, this morning. Just hang around with us, my friends.
Nate Saunders. The Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament begins today with number 14 Miami holding the number 1 seed. Miami is joined by number 13 Virginia and number 21 Duke as the headlining teams at the 5-day event in Greensboro. Today, Florida State plays Georgia Tech, Boston College faces Louisville, and Virginia Tech gets Notre Dame. Wake Forest, NC State, and North Carolina all play tomorrow. The Blue Devils come in as the league's hottest team with 6 straight wins under first-year coach John Shayer, and they have a double bye and play Thursday. Storylines to watch will be whether Clemson and North Carolina can improve their chances at an NCAA tournament bid. It'll also be the final time Mike Bray coaches Notre Dame in the tournament. And one of the big stories of the season is that North Carolina has gone from preseason number 1 to on the NCAA tournament bubble. The Tar Heels lost to rival Duke on Saturday, closed a 12-loss regular season. They have only one Quadrant 1 win on their postseason resume as they enter this week's Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament. No team ranked number 1 in the AP preseason poll has missed the NCAAs since the tournament expanded to 64 teams in 1985. UNCW pulled off an upset in the Colonial Athletic Association men's basketball tournament last night, defeating the number 1 seed Hofstra 79-73 in overtime. The Seahawks will play for the conference championship and a spot in the NCAA tournament tonight against Charleston. And the first domino fell in the NFL quarterback free agency on Monday as Derek Carr signed with the New Orleans Saints. The 4-year deal could be worth up to $150 million. Carr played 9 seasons for the Raiders and holds team records for yards and touchdowns passing. Saints coach Dennis Allen was the Raiders coach when the team selected Carr in the 2nd round of the 2014 draft. I'm Nate Saunders. You're listening to NCN Sports.
North Carolina farmers often face challenges that translate to high stress levels and anxiety. The Farm and Ranch Stress Assistance Network is here to support you. We offer a 24/7 helpline to connect farmers, ranchers, farm workers, and families with resources, including mental health, financial, legal, farm safety, cooperative extension, and more. If you or someone you know could benefit from our support, visit ncfarmstress.org today. That's ncfarmstress.org, providing help and hope for stressful times.
The world around us is changing rapidly, and the stakes are high for our state's rural leaders. The NC Rural Center ensures that rural leaders have access to and are equipped with the tools and resources to work towards resiliency for the future. Save the date to join the NC Rural Center for the annual Rural Summit on March 20th and 21st, and reconnect with the common goal of building a stronger tomorrow. Learn more about the Rural Summit and how to register at ncruralcenter.org.
A top Russian gymnastics coach whose athletes won numerous Olympic gold medals has been suspended following vehement criticism of judges who ended Russia's winning streak in rhythmic gymnastics at the Tokyo Olympics. The Gymnastics Ethics Foundation has barred Irina Viner from coaching or officiating at any competitions in international gymnastics for 2 years. That followed an investigation into statements made after Russian gymnasts took the silver medal in the individual and team all-around rhythmic competitions in Tokyo in 2021. Those were surprise defeats, which ended a streak of gold medals for Russia going back to 2000. Tonight in the National Hockey League, the red-hot Carolina Hurricanes will go to Montreal. They begin at 7. And in basketball, the not-so-hot Charlotte Hornets go to New York at 7:30. I'm Nate Saunders, NCN Sports.
Temperatures today will head into the lower 70s and lower 80s. It's going to be a lovely one out there, but a windy one with gusty winds moving through. That low humidity will lead to an increased fire danger risk. So our spring-like temperatures today will give way to winter-like highs. By tonight, we're down into the lower 30s and lower 40s with highs tomorrow in the mid-50s and lower 60s. It's going to be so much cooler. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Oh, what a beautiful day it is. Sun is shining. The wind's going to be up there, though. A wind gust up to, looks like about 28 miles per hour today. Sunny skies near 70. So we'll see what goes on from there. News from here and there coming up in just a moment.
Listening to the radio, driving in your car. Radio gets results. Radio is there no matter where you are. Radio gets results. When you need to get your message through, people really do listen to you.
We are 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Well, the Rutherford County Commissioners met in regular meeting last night, and I have the chairman of the commissioners on the phone with me right now to tell us what they talked about last night. Mr. Chairman, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Glad to have you check in with us. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Isn't it beautiful out there?
I tell you what, it's a wonderful day.
Yes.
Listen, the topic last night was the revow.
Oh, boy.
And the tax rate. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We had oh, no. And in fact, we had a room full of citizens, and I have a stack full of folks that spoke before the board, and appreciate that. Emails have been coming to the commissioners, phone calls have been coming to commissioners, because we just had this revow, which has had the most substantial revaluation rate in this cycle that I've ever seen in previous cycles. I mean, I'm a taxpayer too, but the main and major concern, other than the revow, was, well, if you apply it towards the current tax rate, then everybody's taxes are going up. And before the public speaking, each commissioner, including myself, spoke to the crowd, first of all, thanking them for coming, and second of all, for assuring them that when we go through our budget cycle this year, which we do every year, we'll be setting a new tax rate, and the tax rate will be reduced. And as Commissioner Lovelace said, he's looking at he's proposing revenue neutral. And so we had a good discussion about how that happens. Every budget season, every year, that when we do the budget, the commissioners have an opportunity to set a tax rate. We've never raised the tax rate, and this year, like we had in the past, we'll have to lower it, and we will, because it's like one of the commissioners says, there's no reason to pay for 10 years worth of government expenses in 1 year. That's what probably would happen if we kept the tax rate where it's at. But the most important thing that we heard last night was from our citizens. And they spoke, and they spoke, first of all, about the reappraisal. The tax rate was part of it. The other was, well, how can my property be appraised this high? What can I do? So we talked about the appeal process. You can't appeal it, and we that's actually on the document they received, and is also on the county website. And the rules in place there on how you can appeal what is set by the state government. So your state legislators are the ones that set those rules. And if you're not happy with what the local commission does when they make the decision on your appeal, you can always appeal to Raleigh. But at the end of the day, the Rutherford County commissioners, all 5 of them that spoke last night, did say they're reducing the taxes to accommodate this increase in our real estate values. And so it was I appreciate it. Someone says, guys, you guys are really getting it hard tonight. And I just want you to know, we asked for this job. This is not something, we asked to serve.
Yes.
And that's what we're here to do. I did mention this last night, and I want the citizens to know that, when you get your Rutherford County tax bill next cycle, there are other entities. If you live in Rutherford, or if you live in Forest City, if you live in Spindale or Lake Lure, well, their taxes are on our bill, but their governing bodies set that. And last year, almost all the towns raised their taxes where the county didn't. And this year, they're going to be in the same position we are, but the question is, are they going to lower their taxes too, since the revow came up higher? And that's something you're going to have to ask those boards. And so that was a pretty good part of the meeting.
That's pretty good news,
Jim, at the beginning.
that you're doing that. I think that'll make a lot of folks happy.
Well, it is. I've got 3 more emails today, and I appreciate, the feedback's important. But one thing that was said last night, because we had members of the school board, members of the college, we had department heads in the room, members of DSS. We had a lot of people there, and I spoke on behalf of myself, and I said, listen, department heads, listen, entities, you're representing your budget to the board of commissioners this year. Here are these taxpayers. They do not have the stomach to pay for more. So you need to have a tight budget this year.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a tight budget next year. Don't come in and propose a budget request for wishes and wants when it's not a need, because our taxpayers, those that actually pay for it, listen to them. They're in the room right now, and they were very serious. They were very sincere, and they were dead right that we need to have a tax rate that's fair, but we do not need to go above what our needs are.
Well, thanks for looking after us.
It's a team effort, but the important part is the feedback. I just want we have people have been calling there and emailing, and that's what we're here for. But the budget cycle is coming up, Jim. We do have some public meetings when we're going over the budget. We welcome everyone to it. Be part of that. I mean, it is online. Last year's budget's online. Everything that we do, but this is important. See what people are. When I say people, the different departments are asking for. There are challenges that's coming up here. The sheriff's office, the jail. If Medicaid expansion comes through, then DSS is going to have pressure to expand to be able to process those requests. I mean, there are those kind of pressures coming, but at the end of the day, just want you to know that the message was heard loud and clear last night, and the message was well received, and I hope it's well received the other way around. You have a board of commissioners that have been serving most of us at least 7 to 8 years, and we understand what our citizens see, and especially what those that pay the taxes are requesting.
Sure, absolutely.
So,
well,
I can't believe I did all that top of my head. So,
well, I'm glad you brought that forward, first of all, because I think a lot of folks were concerned about. Most of us got our revals in the mail just a few days ago, and whoa, what is this all about? But
yeah.
So you have to clear that up.
Well, at our last meeting, not the meeting last night, the one the previous month, we had our revenue director before the board, and he did indicate then that he couldn't finalize it because he hadn't got it finalized, but he did indicate it was a substantial jump, and I mean, it's happening statewide. So we've had at least a month to think about and talk about it one-on-one. What we want to do, and what we want to do is take care of our citizens, take care of our county, but take care of our citizens as well. And so, I'm going to stress again to all our departments and all our partners at the county funds, you need to have a tight budget this year. Our citizens do not have the money. We got inflation facing us. You can't even go to the grocery store without borrowing money. I mean, it's a different world, and it's a different world than it was 2 years ago. It's a different world than it was 4 years ago. And we need to be able to be aware of that when we're making requests from our citizenship, especially when it regards to property taxes. So, anyways, that was a big part of our meeting. And I've been serving as your commissioner for I don't know how many years now, almost 8 years. And it was it was the most valuable meeting that I've ever been in, just because we heard directly from the citizens. And that some have some great ideas and some thoughts, but I just want to thank everybody, and we're always open for feedback. So after public comments, which took probably about 45 minutes or so, I really didn't time it, but we just had a stack of people. I had a stack of I'm the one that called the names out, so I had quite a bit of stack of names to call out. It was throughout the county. It was throughout from Boston. It was from Rutherford. It was Forest City, Spindale. I mean, it was everywhere. It wasn't just one area. It's throughout the community, and so this is loud and clear that our citizens do not want to pay more. They want to take care of their government, or excuse me, they want to take care of themselves, but they want the government to take care of them, and that's one way we can do that is provide the services that we're supposed to, but not go to excesses. And so here we are. So after the public comments, we went to consent agenda. The consent agenda was minutes from previous meetings and tax refunds and releases, which is approved. We had the DSS director, Dee Hunt, was there last night, and she presented a Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation, because how important it is for us to protect these children and those that are in situations. So their proclamation was approved, and you'll be seeing more like that of that coming up in the future. Budget amendments came next. With the budget amendments, which we do, so when the Board of Commissioners set a budget, anytime we need to make a modification or a change to a budget, it has to come before the board. And last night was not any different. We had a few budget amendments. I'm going from memory now, but it was, for example, Sheriff Ellenberg and his team have been, I don't know if you noticed it, but they've been arresting a bunch of people lately.
Yes.
And so when they're able to recover any kind of funds there, that money comes into the county, and then it's reallocated during a budget amendment, like it was last night, to the sheriff's office, so they can use those to continue their good work. There were other items on the budget amendment, such as some monies were requested for the ICC, which was already allocated earlier. We just had to approve it last night. We had a resolution last night, including the micro purchase threshold. What that is something that's required by the state, but we had to publicly put what our threshold is for when a department head, when the finance director, for example, needs to make a request. What's her threshold? And that was modified to, I think it was $50,000, and so that was presented last night and approved. Something new happened last night. We had the Rutherford County Vehicle Advertising Policy. So we had our local college, Gardner Webb, asked if they could put some signage on our library bus, and which is great because education promoting. But we don't have a policy on, well, how do we address that? So our illustrious attorney came up with a policy, which is for that in transit, and it was approved last night. And basically, it was saying, and it is online, but basically it was saying, yes, you need to go through the approval process, and you need to have things that are meaningful to our community, but nothing that has to do with hate or anything offensive or kind of like that. I mean, it's just so that was approved last night. The Hamilton Street property was sold last night. We had someone come across to buy it, and so we authorized the sale of the property through an upset bid procedure as required by the general statute. I think it's 1608269. So last night we had Senator Moffitt's office called us about, maybe a month ago. And in Raleigh, he has a place where all the flags of all the counties that he represents and people represent are hanging. Well, he asked us, where's the Rutherford County flag? And lo and behold, we don't have a Rutherford County flag. We had one that was done 75 years ago, but it wasn't as modern, or it wasn't as nice as we wanted to. So last night there was a design that was approved. So the Rutherford County flag was approved, and that's going to be in Raleigh with the other counties in Senator Moffitt's reception area. The resolution in support of the Allied Health and Science Buildings, Isothermal Community College. This is a resolution that the college brought to us. They're actually been working very closely with our representatives, Tim Moore's office and Jake Johnson and Senator Moffitt, about improving the health and well-being of our citizens, but actually putting a health and science building on the campus of ICC. And so a resolution in support of that endeavor was presented and approved. Then last night we had Brad Teague from the Rutherford County Schools made a presentation on the transport facility and what used to be called the former RS Middle School. That was a pretty lengthy conversation. There were a lot of questions asked back and forth. In fact, it was, and they had a whole group of people there. The school system had at least 6 people representing different departments and sections, from the administration to the finance department. And so they asked for questions. Then the commissioners were pretty intense. They say hold them accountable is a term that the school board likes to use. And so accountability questions were asked last night. And at the end of the day, and there was a sister part of this, a resolution. Let me finish that. So we had that conversation. And then the sister thing was a reimbursement resolution and financing for the transportation and maintenance facility. And that was actually tabled to next month because in the previous section that we discussed, we wanted some clarifications regarding how the deed's going to work. It's just different questions we had. The school board chairman and the county chairman and vice chairmen we're all going to meet this month. We set that up last night, kind of hash this out and have it back up for next month. So it's pretty interesting meeting. It's online, so I welcome everybody to watch that. The next item, we went to attorney-client closed session, and we came out of that and open session, and we approved the participant settlement and settlement agreement for additional funds from CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Teva, and Allergen in the opioid settlement. And this is all computer, but basically it increases improves the funding stream for the county in fighting the opioid crisis that is impacting our community. And after that, we adjourned. So,
sounds like a pretty productive meeting, though.
Yeah, and before that meeting, we had our airport authority meeting. Chairman Benfield, one kudos to the airport. We did have the board, the airport authority approved a new business coming there. So I was really excited to see that we have a new tenant in a hangar and a new business coming on training. And so that was flight training. So that was really, really exciting to hear. So I just want to, and then the airport just continues to grow. So there you have it. That's in a nutshell. That's the
and the
quick version,
on.
but
like
it does.
Very productive meeting, and sound like good things are happening for the county.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it. It's a beautiful day out there. Hey, I just want you to know, I heard last night they had over 100,000 people using the trail last year.
Wow.
I won't get the exact number. Yeah, over 100,000. And so this is going to be a beautiful day, so I can't wait to look out back and see how many more people riding today. So go out there and get some fresh air.
Walking and riding bikes. They're filling
yes,
the
sir.
trails up. We're fortunate to have it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate
All
you being
right.
with us today. Thanks for that great information on how you're handling the budget, and we'll look forward to having a report next month.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a very good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Brian King, the chairman of the Rutherford County Commissioners, be able to pick back up on the reports again. It's 8:47.
Mission Health Center Rutherford is now open in Forest City, a multi-specialty clinic with care for the whole family. From routine preventative care to the treatment of chronic conditions, our providers offer a personalized approach to meet your specific needs. Now accepting new patients. Call 828-659-5741 to make an appointment today. Mission Health Center Rutherford. Quality care close to home.
We all sometimes need a towing service. Bad weather, or you just get stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire, or even worse. Call on Tri-City Towing Services of Daryl Burnett. Towing services for big trucks as well as cars and SUVs. He has a rollback service to get you safely to a garage. With years of experience, you're in good hands with Tri-City Towing. Put this number in your phone, 828-305-7707. That's 305-7707. Have it handy when you need it. Remember the name, Tri-City Towing, 1101 West Main Street in Forest City. Robbins Painting Carpet has become the friend of folks who do their own work around the house and friends of the professional. Robbins Painting Carpet is the home of Benjamin Moore premium quality paint. It goes on easy the first time, every time. So save yourself some time with Benjamin Moore. Robbins